All right, so are you ready to get into some basketball?
Always ready.
Okay, good, because today we're diving deep into Court of Gold,
Okay.
that new Netflix docuseries about the 2024 Paris Olympics men's basketball tournament.
Hmm.
We've been going through a bunch of podcast reviews,
Yeah.
and honestly, I'm really curious to see if it lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
What do you think so far?
Well, from what I've been seeing, the reviewers are all talking about the behind-the-scenes access.
Okay,
Like they got stuff you'd never usually see.
like what kind of stuff?
Well, one of the reviewers was talking about this scene with Jokić.
Okay.
Like, in the middle of a timeout,
Uh-huh.
he's at a whiteboard,
Uh-huh.
and he's actually diagramming plays.
Wow.
Like, the cameras are just rolling the whole time.
No way.
Capturing everything.
So we get to see, like, how his mind works.
Yeah, you can see his whole thought process.
That's amazing.
It's like you're right there with him.
You think we can actually learn something from that?
Oh, absolutely. You can see how he analyzes the game,
Uh-huh.
how he anticipates what the other team's going to do,
Wow.
and then how he adjusts his own strategy right there on the spot.
That's incredible. And it wasn't just Jokić, right?
Right. The reviews also mentioned some pretty candid moments with Coach Kerr and Coach Spoelstra.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hanging out with LeBron James.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's this one scene where they're all just kind of relaxing, talking about the game-sharing stories.
I bet there are some real gems in those conversations.
Oh, I'm sure. It gives you a glimpse into their personalities
Yeah,
and their coaching philosophies when they're not on the court.
right. Outside of that really intense environment.
Exactly.
That's something you don't get to see every day. Speaking of things you don't see every day,
Yeah.
the reviews mentioned Kevin Durant getting pretty emotional in this docuseries.
Oh, yeah. There's this really powerful scene
Hmm.
where he breaks down talking about how much basketball has impacted his life.
Wow.
He talked about how it brings people together
Uh-huh.
and how it helped him through some tough times.
I can see why that would be emotional.
It's raw and honest.
Yeah.
You really see a different side of him.
It sounds like this docuseries goes beyond just the team itself.
Definitely. It gets into the human side of these players, their journeys, their struggles, their triumphs.
It's like you're getting to know them on a personal level.
Exactly. It's about more than just wins and losses.
That's what makes it so interesting. I'm curious, though.
Yeah.
Does Court of Gold only focus on Team USA?
No, it definitely goes global.
Good, because I'm always interested in seeing how the rest of the world is playing.
Oh, you'll get that. One reviewer described Serbia's bronze medal celebration as a historic drunk.
Seriously.
Yeah, which honestly sounds pretty amazing.
I bet. What about the other international stars?
Well, Wembanyama's reaction to France's loss is apparently heartbreaking.
Oh, man.
Shows how much pressure he was under.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then even Dylan Brooks gets some decent screen time.
Yeah?
Which is pretty cool.
It really shows how Canada is becoming a force in basketball.
Interesting. So we get a taste of everything.
It seems like a real global perspective.
That's what I like to see. Okay, well, speaking of stealing the show,
Yeah.
did Steph Curry live up to his reputation?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
The reviewers raved about his performance in the final.
Yeah.
Especially that ear tug play.
The what?
The ear tug, after he makes a
Yeah.
big shot, he tugs on his ear.
Oh, right. I've seen that.
It's like his signature move.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the game-winning three-pointer.
I was wondering about that.
They're calling it the golden dagger.
Okay, I gotta ask, did they catch Coach Kerr's reaction?
To the golden dagger.
Yeah.
Let's just say his language was a bit colorful.
Oh, I bet.
But it totally captured the intensity of that moment.
Those are the moments that define a player's legacy.
Exactly. It's not just skill. It's leadership
Yeah.
rising to the occasion.
So it sounds like Court of Gold delivers.
So far, so good?
We've got unprecedented access,
Uh-huh.
raw emotions, global perspectives,
Definitely.
and Steph Curry magic.
Can't forget that.
Sounds like a slam dunk.
It does, doesn't it?
But
There's always a but.
the reviewers did mention some potential flaws.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
You're going to burst my bubble here.
there may be a little.
What did they say?
Apparently the pacing is a little off. Oh, really?
Yeah, some parts drag on, like the Olympic ceremony footage,
Uh-huh.
and then other important parts feel rushed.
Like what?
Well, like Team USA's semifinal comeback.
Yeah, I hate when documentaries do that.
It's like they don't know what to emphasize.
Right, it messes with the flow.
Exactly.
It can be really distracting. Why do you think pacing is so important for documentaries?
Well, think about it like a good book.
Okay,
You need those moments of tension and release.
right.
You need a balance.
Makes sense.
If the pacing is off, it's hard to stay engaged.
Yeah, it can totally take you out of the story.
Right.
Okay, so it sounds like Court of Gold might have missed the mark a bit there.
A little bit.
What else did the reviewers say?
Another thing that came up was the lack of star power.
Really? That's surprising with all the big names in it.
I know, right? But LeBron James isn't in it that much.
Oh, come on. They featured him in all the promos.
Yeah, but his actual screen time is pretty limited.
That's disappointing.
And there aren't many in-depth interviews with Steph Curry either.
Wait a minute. He hit the game-winning shot.
I know.
You'd think he'd be front and center.
You would think. What about some of the other guys?
Yeah, like Anthony Edwards or Jason Tatum.
Well, Edwards is mostly just making jokes on the bench.
Okay.
And Tatum's basically invisible.
Seriously.
Yeah. A lot of fans are asking, did Tatum even get any screen time?
Wow. They really overlooked some key players.
It seems like it.
Do you think they did that on purpose?
It's hard to say.
Maybe they were trying to focus on a specific narrative.
Could be. Or maybe it was just bad editing.
Yeah, you have to strike that balance
Right.
between highlighting the stars and telling the overall story.
Exactly.
Speaking of missing elements, did anyone mention the pressure these guys were under?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, representing your country at the Olympics?
It's a huge deal.
That has to be intense.
For sure. And actually,
Yeah.
that's another thing the reviewers brought up.
Okay.
They felt like the documentary focused too much on the happy moments and not enough on the struggles and the tension.
Oh, come on. Really?
Yeah.
Where's the drama?
Right, we see Serbia celebrating like crazy,
Uh-huh.
but we don't see the pressure leading up to that.
Did anyone mention any conflicts within Team USA?
Not really.
What about Wembanyama, like dealing with the expectations of an entire country?
They didn't really touch on that either.
So they kind of glot over all the hard stuff.
It seems that way.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. A few reviewers called it a lack of narrative depth.
Right. Because overcoming challenges is what makes the victories so much sweeter.
Exactly.
It would have been so much more powerful to see how the guys dealt with adversity.
Totally. It's like the old saying, no rain, no rainbows.
Exactly. So it sounds like Court of Gold might be more style than substance.
In a way, yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
It's got those amazing behind-the-scenes moments,
Uh-huh.
but it might be missing that deeper layer.
Right. That real human element that makes a documentary so captivating.
I think that's a fair assessment.
It's a shame they didn't take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah. But on the other hand, they
Yeah.
did capture some incredible moments.
That's true.
Yeah.
And hey,
Yeah.
maybe it'll get people talking and debating.
That's always a good thing.
Absolutely. A little healthy discussion never hurt anyone.
Right.
Okay, so we've talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
What stood out to you the most? Was there anything that really surprised you or made you want to watch it?
Honestly, for me, it was that glimpse into the global basketball scene.
Yeah.
Serbia's historic drunk
Right.
Wembanyama's heartbreak.
Uh-huh.
Even Dylan Brooks getting some attention.
Right.
It really shows how the sport goes beyond borders. Yeah. It's fascinating to see how basketball has become this global phenomenon.
It's like the whole world comes together for the Olympics.
It's true. You get to see all these different styles of play.
Yeah, and all that talent in one place.
The best of the best.
It goes beyond national pride, too.
Absolutely.
You see the players' individual passion,
Yeah.
their dedication.
Their drive.
They all have that dream of Olympic glory.
It's like they're all connected by this love of the game.
It's a universal language.
You could say that. And it seems like Court of Gold captures that feeling really well.
Yeah,
Even with its flaws, it still gives you a taste of that world.
right. It reminds you of how powerful sports can be.
How they can bring people together.
So to sum up our deep dive into Court of Gold,
Yeah.
it's kind of a mixed bag.
That's fair to say.
We've got incredible behind-the-scenes access. We see real emotion.
Right.
We get a global perspective.
Definitely.
But the pacing isn't great.
Right.
Some big names get left out.
And we miss out on some of the deeper stuff.
Yeah, the struggles, the tension.
It could have been a lot more powerful if they'd explored that more.
It's a reminder that even sports documentaries, they're still shaped by the people making them.
Of course.
The choices they make really impact how we see the story. So we need to watch with a critical eye.
Always.
We can enjoy the show,
Yeah.
but we should also be thinking about the choices they made.
Right. And any biases they might have.
That's what makes these deep dives so interesting.
It gets people thinking.
Exactly. We're not just telling you what to watch.
We're encouraging you to explore it for yourself.
To form your own opinions. So for anyone who's still on the fence about Court of Gold, if you just want some awesome basketball moments
Yeah.
with some cool behind-the-scenes stuff,
Go for it.
but if you're looking for a deeper look at the Olympics and the players,
Yeah.
you might be a little disappointed.
It's not quite that kind of film.
But hey, at least they captured some incredible moments.
Definitely. It's worth seeing for that alone.
As you watch, though,
Yeah.
I want you to think about this.
Okay.
What does the future of international basketball look like?
That's a good question.
Will we see new rivalries?
New stars.
How will technology and globalization change the game?
Yeah. It's a story that's still being written.
Just like Court of Gold itself.
Exactly. So keep watching.
And explore.
Keep that conversation going.